Speaking of the Chinese, Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky was grilling then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton on Capitol Hill about the Benghazi hearings. That's a lot of proper nouns and prepositions. But you remember this, right? Republicans were giving Hillary a lot of hell about the confirmation process and all that. And he brought up our tour. He goes, you guys spent $100,000 sending 3 comedians to India. That was our tour! Because of that crazy Republican in Kentucky, we're part of the congressional record. Except in our moment of glory, he called it Make Chi Not War, which would have been Chinese. Now, this part of it did not make it into the congressional record. I will say right now that one of the great improvements in India is the bathroom situation. It's way better, okay? I remember going with my parents in 1985, and they had the squat toilets. All right, people ask why we do yoga. They're like, is it tied into meditation and inner peace? I'm like, no. Not inner peace, outer pieces, okay? We're trying not to fall in the toilet. Too bad my son's not here, he'd love that joke, okay. We're on our way from Kolkata to Durgapur. And you know it's a true story because I cannot pronounce Durgapur. I would have picked another city. But we were on our way from Kolkata to Durgapur in this 3-hour ride in this red van. We're late per usual, and I really have to go to the bathroom. So we're almost there. I'm like, I cannot hold it anymore. I'm shifting in my seat. I'm not even shifting in my seat. I'm full-on Punjabi dancing. You know, like I just cannot even, like that's where our dancing comes from too. I just cannot hold it in at all. Like I'm dying. They pull over the van to this line of shops and stores, and I get out. And I have to go to the bathroom so badly, I can now speak Hindi. Because I don't speak Hindi. And I was always ashamed of the fact that I don't speak Hindi, but it's because I was born in this country before 1984. That's my theory. The mantra at the time was assimilation. If you're born in this country before 84, you probably don't speak your native tongue. Now, after this, you ask the kids these days, they speak Rajasthani and Punjabi and Gujarati, and that's just the Tamil kids. They're really smart. But I walked up and I asked this guy, I was like, washroom kahan hai? Washroom kahan hai? You may know this about South Asia. Nobody's gonna tell you where anything is. I've never had anybody tell me where anything is located. They're just gonna tell you where the next guy is standing. Who's gonna tell you where the next guy is standing? Who's gonna tell you where the next guy is standing? And that's the great thing about having 1.4 billion people. There's always the next guy standing. I get to the end, it's like swinging through the jungle like Tarzan on vines, and they keep appearing. This is why South Asians are so good at the internet. Before it launched, this was our network, okay? We're getting all the way to the end, and I see this guy standing there. I'm like, washroom kahan hai? He points at a sign. This time, it does not read man. It does not read men. It reads gents. 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 For gentlemen. I think this is gonna be a nice bathroom. I open up the door and it takes me right back outside again. It's just a hole. It's literally the whole bathroom. It is a hole in the ground. Never in my life have I felt more like a gentleman, by the way. Cars are whizzing by, I'm whizzing into a hole. At least they could give me a top hat and a cane, I could feel like a gentleman. I go in to complain, I'm like, there's a hole in the toilet. He goes, that is the toilet. So I book a bar gig in Brisbane. My dad's brother has lived in Brisbane with his family for over half a century. Go to Sydney, and I don't know if you've been to Australia or not, but Aussies are some of the best crowds in the world. They are amazing, because to make them laugh, all you have to do is make fun of the British. They invaded 90% of the countries on the planet. You know that? At the time, it was 90% of the countries on the planet. And I always wondered, how did they do it? I remember asking a British friend of mine, we just celebrated July 4th, when's your Independence Day? He just stared at me until it hit me. Oh, that's right, you don't have one. You just have days that other countries gain their independence from you. But how'd they do it? I think it's that voice. That British accent does something to people. We're either intimidated by it, we're scared of it, we find it sexy. Something's going on with that voice. It just gets people. The thing is, We kicked them out of the United States over 200 years ago. And we invited them back in when we needed judges for American Idol. And America's Got Talent. And Top Chef. Because it sounds better coming from them. We still want them to judge us. Why is that? Why are we seeking we broke up with them. They should be seeking our approval. But I guarantee you they are not. You were never gonna see the Great British Bake Off, hosted by Larry the Cable Guy. You can use the British voice to your advantage. If you ever need a late checkout from a hotel, use the British voice. Because Azhar and I were in Hyderabad, and we've been talking and solving the world's problems till 6 in the morning. We realized we need a late checkout. We can't really do a great British accent. We call up Mo Ammer, a really good friend of ours. And he's in Cairo. We put him on FaceTime. We called down to the front desk. He can do a spot on British accent. I can't. I'm an Indian guy doing an impression of a Palestinian guy doing an impression of a British guy. So, Polaroid in the sun, okay? It's not gonna be quite as good, but he goes, cheerio, could you just be a dear? And do you mind giving us, our flight got rerouted through Spain? Is there any way maybe you can give us like a 4 p.m. checkout? He asked for a 4 p.m. checkout. And we got it! Do you have any idea how late that is? That's an hour later than the check-in of the next day. That is a really late checkout. And by the way, my wife's family hates this joke because they're Gujarati and they run hotels and stop telling everybody how to get a late checkout. It's because everything sounds right in that accent. If I say it to you right now, sir, 2 and 2 is 5, you're like, no, it's not. But if I go 2 and 2 is 5, love, you got to think about it. That's right. Because the British are smart, I'm sure that's probably applicable to them like anyone else. They get a lot of credit because of that accent. They're not that smart. Right? You do know that the British used to send their criminals to Australia. I'm not making that up. You know that, right? Australia was a penal colony for the British. But I don't know if you've been to Australia. It's a way better place than England. It's warmer, it's larger, cooler animals. I think if the British were really that smart, they would have gone to Australia and left the criminals in England. So true. Needless to say, the Aussies ate that up. And while we were planning the trip, we thought, while we're in the area, we'll go to Africa. Clearly, we went to U.S. public school. And if you're not laughing, so did you. Because Africa is nowhere near Australia. We found this out the hard way. We're like Southern Hemisphere. How far could it be? Really, really far. I got news for you. The Southern Hemisphere is just as big as the Northern Hemisphere. 18 hours later, after connecting through Singapore, we land in Johannesburg. And we loved South Africa because my wife's mom was born in South Africa. In fact, we have a lot of family down there, and we loved it. We loved everything about South Africa, except for the name. They sort of gave up when they named the place, didn't they? What direction is it? South. What continent? Africa. Done. We're not going to put any more thought into this at all. Then again, we do the same thing here in the United States. We have stores here called mailboxes, etc. Linens and things. Bed Bath Beyond. What's the etc.? What things? Anything could be in that Beyond section. What's in it? We flew home through Paris, so that was Europe for us. And the French, being the French, insisted that every comedian on the lineup at this bar gig do at least one joke in French. I've not taken French since college. Does anyone here know what the word is for now in French? Wow, look at this, very cultured audience. Literary and cultured, I love this. That's right, maintenant. Maintenant. 3 syllables, that's a long word for now. By the time you get finished saying maintenant, it's no longer maintenant. They like that one too, okay. Good, glad. Good. So I was telling you about how I moved from Cincinnati to LA. That whole thing was a tangent because I'm a tangent. 2006. I moved to Los Angeles and I am single because I'm a professional comedian. Ain't nobody dating you in this town. If you're broke, man, it's tough. In LA, dating is hard. You hear that all the time. And then people will tell you from other cities, like, dude, dating is hard everywhere. No, LA is a special kind of dating hell. And I'll tell you why. It's because everybody's selling and nobody is buying. There's a surplus of everything. You go to a party, everybody's looking for someone better to talk to. The guy right in front of you is like, subscribe to my newsletter, listen to my podcast, come to my show, and that's just me. I ended up getting really good at talking to women at bars. I spent a lot of time talking to women at bars, and all my male friends, all my man friends are always like, why are you always talking to women at bars? I go, because they're my height. The thing, all my guy friends are 6 feet tall. I got tired of doing this all the time. I wake up the next morning with a crick in my neck. And all these people are like, what, did you get some action last night? Did you go down on a girl? I'm like, no, I went up on a guy. I actually went on to date every race of woman, and I think that's important to do in America, because this is the United States. It's diverse, it's the home of McDonald's, Happy Meals, collect the whole set. Get out there and date, man. You could do that here because that is unique about America. It's true. There are over 200 countries. Most of them have no diverse cities at all. None. And some of them have one. France has Paris. Some of them have two. Spain has Madrid and Barcelona. The United States has like 10 of them. LA and San Francisco and Miami and New York and Cincinnati, Ohio. Get out there and date, man. Sample, that's the thing that you should do. Because I told a friend of mine that. I go, that is my pet peeve. I don't like areas of land that have all one kind of people. And he goes, so you hate countries? I'm like, that's right. I hate countries and I love mixed people. I love mixed people because they're so hot. It's true, right? And a friend of mine tried to get in on that recently. She goes, oh, I'm mixed. My mom's from Pakistan. My dad's from India. That's not mixed. That's just the British getting pissed off and dividing our country in parts. Can't use that to book more commercials. People are like, oh, my mom's from Vermont. My dad's from New Hampshire. I'm mixed. No, you're super white. That's not a thing. But some of my friends are very specific and very particular about the kind of women they say they date. They say they date only black women. They date only brown women. They date only white women. To me, ladies, you're all beautiful. I mean, the pretty ones. Well, some people say that's mean. I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm kidding. Second of all, I don't make the rules. No, I'm not a chauvinist, but when I go to strip clubs, I don't give the girls dollar bills. I toss them Susan B. Anthony coins for the irony. I actually met my wife on OkCupid. And she is from Austin, Texas. I was in Los Angeles, California. So people want to know, well, then how is that possible? How was she in Texas, you're in California? How'd you guys meet? Well, you might know that you can go into the settings. It's amazing how much my life is dictated by settings. And change the radius of people who are looking for you. It's true. Tip in case you need to know it. 5 miles, 25 miles, 250 miles, desperate. Mine was set to desperate. I was almost 40 and age is not just a number, all right? I was like, let's go. And I'm so proud to tell you that we brought our first child into the world. His name is Naveen, and in Hindi, that means new. So I guess we're gonna have to rename him every year. But it was the only name on which Harsha and I agreed. Because it's hard. Indian male names are hard. Indian male names are like penises. I really only like my own. So Naveen was born in Los Angeles. Well, he was reborn in Los Angeles. And he was born in the year 2021, which makes him a COVID baby. The great thing about having a COVID baby is you know it's yours. Although we had a lot of Amazon deliveries, so who knows? What can Brown do for you? Maybe we found out. I don't know. Because this was during the pandy, the Peej, the pandy, I love my abbreviations. During the pandy, we did our birth classes online. And because we were in there with a bunch of other parents, we learned how stupid the questions are. And it makes you worry about the future of this country. Or the present, because these people are already here having kids. Okay? Somebody asked, they were like, look, this was during the pandemic, okay? So you were allowed only one visitor in the room. Everybody got it? One visitor in the room. It's during the pandemic. They have to be safe. It's California, all that stuff. One visitor in the room. So then people started asking, well, can anyone else come in? No, one person. It kind of helped us out because all 4 grandparents came to stay with us for a short Indian visit of 3 months. A friend of mine asked me, he goes, are you coming to the point where you're ready for them to leave? I'm like, no, don't say that. We're well past that point. 4 grandparents, 3 months, you do the math. I'm Indian, I'll do the math, okay? And the reason is, because I'm Indian, we can't ask them to leave. We're not white. Now my friend Rob, over in Indiana, he was like, his mother-in-law came to stay for a long white visit of 5 days. On Sunday, it snows. And she goes, maybe I'll fly out on Monday. He goes, you're leaving today. I don't care if I have to shovel the runway. You're going. Try saying that to an Indian mother-in-law and see how long you live. So it kind of helped me out because God forbid they'd allow 2 visitors in the room. Which grandparent was going to go? That was a reality show I did not want to watch. I'm going, I'm the dad, Amazon deliveries notwithstanding. And so I'm going in. And then people are mad. They're pissed off because their grandparents came to town and they wanted to come in. And so they type and they yell into the computer and they're just like, oh, well, does the doctor count as a visitor? No, the doctor doesn't count. She's at work. She's not just hanging out with us. Do the nurses count? Are any nurses here? Any Filipinos or Malayalis? Okay. That's the thing, though. Like, no, of course, they're at work. So just be a smartass. I type in, does the baby count as a visitor? Could you imagine that bit? Naveen pops out. Sorry, buddy, you gotta go. One at a time. Oh my gosh. And then somebody asks a question that I will never get over as long as I live. This guy goes, when do we use the for? Like, what? When do we use the for? And we're as confused as you are right now. When do we use the for? And we finally catch up in the materials and we realize he means, when do we use the IV? Who defaults to Roman numerals? The guy who names the Super Bowls? Like, well, what are you doing? Eventually, we found out that Naveen's blood type is B positive, and as Asian parents, that's the last B plus we let him get. But in this day and age of modern technology, it was great seeing the child develop in the womb. That's a really cool thing because of tech, you get to actually see the child develop. You see the little fingers, little toes, you see the head, you see that spine. It's great when you see that spine because you know he's not going to be a Republican. Oh, he sleeps a lot too, so he's like Joe Biden. Okay, all right, I could be bipartisan. I'll leave you with this. I do sometimes worry about the world in which Naveen will live. I don't know where he's going to get his information. I feel lost all the time. Where do you get your news? How do you find it? I'm ashamed to admit that I get it from the Brits. All right, from British news. I definitely read and watch British news like the BBC, The Guardian, The Economist, because I told you, we believe anything in that accent. And the thing is, the reality of it is, I don't feel that bad going outside to find out what's going on inside, because it's like when my wife and I go to a party.
We're standing around in a circle. You ever do this with your spouse and a stranger asks your spouse a question? Somebody will ask my wife a question, and whatever my wife says is something I've never heard her say before. I'm like, is that what's going on with her? Who knew? I think the reality is Barack Obama wanted to believe that we live in a post-racial world, right? And the thing is, I listen to Obama a lot because he's half black and half white. I'm neither black nor white. We have that in common. But remember, he would always use that phrase, let me be clear. He'd say that all the time. Let me be clear. Let me be clear. Let me be clear. Let me be clear. And after all these years, I finally figured out what he meant. I think in this racial world, he's just tired of being a color. Like, dear Lord, I don't want to be black. I don't want to be white. Let me be clear. And I got to clear out. You guys have been a lot of fun. Oh, my God.